Oh, yeah, nice.
That was Jason Dunnigan with a career best last night at 662. Gage Herrera struggled a little bit with a 690, but you got DME backing you on this bike. I mean, Dunnigan, what would it mean to him for him to go in the 50s right now?
I'm telling you, with the conditions we've got right now, we've got this nice, clean, crisp, cool air for all of these pro street riders. That little bit of extra free horsepower could push them into the 50s. When 662, I believe it was last night at 215.
Yep.
Gage Herrera, kind of a weird weekend for him also. As fast as the 690 with the 9. You and I both know this bike is capable of going quicker than that.
Exactly. It's been the best than 666 with a 7 on this racetrack. Here we go. Much better. He picked up 0.2 of a second. Dunnigan will stay number 4. Gage Herrera goes number 5. So great lap for Gage Herrera at only 200 miles an hour.
Motherfucking temperature dropping now.
And they got to figure something out. That Dunnigan machine, the 60-foot was down on it, the 330 was down. I don't know, maybe if they tried something, clearly the bike didn't like it. So they'll go back to the old drawing board, make an adjustment or two, and keep an eye on them still in eliminations.
Oh, you know Andy Sawyer, Debbie Edgar, that team, they're going to have some for. How about Chris Moore, the points leader? Been to 2 finals, no wins yet, and he's been a career best with a 636.2. How about Chris Edwards over the right-hand side of 697? And how about this? Edwards, he can get it done.
Edwards is no slouch, and he's not quite as quick as some of these other guys are out there, but you still can't count him out because we've seen, you and I have seen it before. He takes a round win with one of the higher guys in front of him. That's a drag and rolls off of there. Here we go, lights are down, and Edwards goes nowhere. There goes Chris Moore.
125 shortstop and 666.6.
Oh.
215 miles an hour for Chris Moore. So he picked up 700 exactly.
That's
from
a hell of
his
a
earlier
fucking
qualifying attempt, and that may move him up from number 7 to number 5. Bumps Gage Herrera down to number 6.
As right now, though, on the Edwards machine, as you saw, he dropped the arm, and the bike went literally nowhere. So hopefully they do have overnight look at this thing. Potentially one more qualifier, of course, depending on X, Y, Z, ABC.
And remember, 32 wide field this weekend, so even though it's 16, he ain't on the bubble.
That's right, he is still going to be in the field, which is good news. He does have a 6-second pass for the state.
That's true. Justin Shaker and Ryan Hayes. Let's talk about Justin Shaker for a second. The first time the Percy ran the World Cup in 2018, he runner up to Ryan Schmidt.
But a lot of people had counted him out to do that, which was the crazy part.
And he's one of the bigger riders, so he's no cruiserweight. He's probably maybe about 1.5 times of a team lead.
Yeah, but he's still like 50 pounds lighter than you and me.
But at least me. But Ryan Hable on the right side, Robert, Wisconsin. Now Hable, don't count him out either. He's been going to run quick.
As the last year when he come down here, Hable on the Napa side of the racetrack, Shaker on the Coors Light side. Lights are down, and there they go. Shaker gets tired. Ooh, a lot of smoke out of the Hable machine there on the right side of the racetrack as the smoke is starting to dissipate, but it's sticking around a little bit farther down. Usually that's not a good sign. Hopefully Hable did not expire the motor there. We're going to find out here in just a few moments. We're waiting on word from the top end.
So Ryan Hable, like you said, hope he didn't let a motor go. Justin Shaker moves up to 14, 6.936.
Yeah, the 695 will stand there for Hable.
So far, so good. We're hearing on the radio. So again, these guys aren't mandated to have diapers on these bikes. So we are not clear yet. And you see, the safety truck is out of the racetrack, so we are going to make sure everything's okay. Like I said, safety is number one priority. There, make sure to check the racetrack and check on Ryan Hable, make sure he's okay. Like I said, diapers aren't mandatory in this category. And Higgins, correct me if I'm wrong, but what a diaper is done is just like on a baby. It's there to contain anything that, well, gets out.
All the crap that could happen.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So
I sat here for like 2 minutes trying to think of a G-rated way to do that too. That's the funny part.
Yep. That's all. That's pretty much what the diaper does. Just like a kid.
It's the exact same concept. It keeps everything contained in one area to The craziest thing with these bikes especially is you get the slightest amount of fluid on that rear tire. It's done. Now, you and I have seen some riders to manage somehow to ride through some crazy things, but you know, with the speeds and mile hours that these guys have, it is mandatory. It's a safety thing. It's a win-win scenario.
Running on the Bulls, need you lane 1 down for their final shakedown. HCP Plymouth Crud needs you to lane 3. And Crud, you will use lane 3 the rest of the night. Bulls, you will be in lane 1 the rest of the night.
So Bulls are going to be in lane 1, and HTP Performance Grudge, you're going to be in lane 3
right,
for the remainder of the night. So let me ask you this, Fabian, do they need to wait for you to call them?
No, get up here now, go.
Is that for both classes or just Grudge?
Bulls, get up here now, Grudge, we're calling you Grudge, just keep making laps the rest of the night.
Black Spirit come down for James Herbert, Tony Fisher, Herbert, the right lane, coming out of retirement for
top end, 699, 170 for Tony Fisher. Again, he was part of that first ever First Street Battle Royale final here back 8 years ago when he ran the first ever side-by-side 6 Terrace Angela. Tony Fisher is a former winner of this race.
And I don't think he's showing his hand there either because everything looked good to the 1,000 foot for him to go quicker, and then right after the 1,000, I believe he got out of it just a hair to save the bike a little.
All right, Street T splits, you are now ready in race control. Pro T and Street T splits are now ready in race control.
Come get your money.
Exactly. But, hey, Kenny Brewer, how about Kenny Brewer? It meant so much to him to get to the 6-second zone of Virginia.
It's like, I think it's like 180 races out here, Joe. I think they had said it's more than that now. I think it's like almost 300 now.
So far, it's working out good for him, too, with that number 2 qualifier spot. And Brewer, as you just said,
And I got it.
6-second pass this week. He had a third for this weekend for his 4th ever in back-to-back events.
Top back, quarter mile, 7:05, 2:05. Kenny Brewer again. Not as much back, but heads down the racetrack. That's the most important thing. Rodney's going to stay number 2 at 6:49.
And at 205 mile an hour passes with a little bit of luck, he can make a couple rounds.
Oh, yeah,
as
sure.
you and I again have seen. You don't race on paper in track racing.
That's true. And you don't want to say I'm undefeated against him.
And you raced him once?
I know it's cold out this motherfucker.
Bike pass. Here we go, James 1, Jordan Haas.
Haas to the machine there on the right side of the racetrack. Number 10 qualifiers currently sitting on 1
Problem for James Waugh. Jordan Haas goes 772. He'll stay 10. James Waugh will stay 17.
60 foot looked good there for Haas, but I guess it looked like he stayed in it, but looking at the incrementals, looks like right around 330. He maybe went to like half throttle or something like that.
And
kept it off the wall.
And one thing I'm thinking about here is that these guys, and the reason why they may not be showing their whole hand yet, because this is not the type of condition they're going to be racing in the barn during elimination. They may be on a little bit on the conservative side. But, if you're Jeremy Teasley, you got to be thinking record, and the reason I say that is thinking a record and a little bit of luck, and it is possible, mathematically possible, Jeremy Teasley could win the race, set the record, and still lose the title. It's possible.
Yeah, it's really good.
You and I have seen some crazy things just in our years announcing together.
No, my breath ain't that hot.
Scenarios that you and I have gone, there's no way that's going to happen, and then lo and behold, it plays out.
And I tell you what,
not just here with the XDA, but of course our Speedless AT series, of course many other things, as looks like Ryan Bonitas, Ryan Bones, left side.
Yeah, Bones Jr. As, again, the things we've seen on this racetrack is that you think you've seen everything, spin the screen.
Oh, I like that. So let's hear what the Suzuki's going to be able to do. Number 12 qualifier, 691 with a 2, 198 as it looks like. Not quite sure what's going on.
He took the tree, so that does kind of made the run, so they are going to, so he is going to be able to make a run, but it will not count for qualifying. See what Bones can do. Bones Jr. I should say. Then we got TV racing Grove Street in water. And a championship scenario over there. It's this Grove Street. And Bones Jr.
There's something going on with that bike. The way that thing slid out from under him just a little bit there. The track's there. This track, you and I both know, Fabian, when the sun goes down here near the back briefly, this track almost always tightens up. They went out and they prepped it. I don't know. Something didn't seem right with the way that thing tried to launch you.
No, definitely not. But again, Jeremy T's going to hold on to that one spot for now. But we're going to TV Race Grove Street. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. They're their own go list. They're going great.
So the question is, who will be the first of the 40s? One of the guys to keep an eye on will be there on the left side of the racetrack. Cameron Teasley
was not the last race. And you know why? Is Cam and Dad.
There you go. So his best pass is 764 with the 7 of the weekend, 182 on the speed for the man out of Ohio on the Kawasaki. Well, he'll be able to join the 42nd zone here in the mine shaft. Digis.
He said he let his brothers have the point for Virginia. Now he's back with a vengeance. Chad Snowski on the right side. Now Cameron Teasley, his best career pass, 7.614. For Chad Snowski, he's been in the 7s. How low can he go?
As Teasley turned free stage, go up full stage. Now to the right side.
Quarter mile. How about it? How about it? Yeah. 853 or 871, either one. The numbers early looked good, but then they both kind of just went away. And next up will be Brandon Teasley, the points leader, the ET record holder. And
Mark struggled in qualifying so far.
And there's two words that don't go together. Teasley and struggle. Whether it be Brandon, Jeremy, Cameron, or even their dad, Crow Teasley, there's something Teasley and struggle don't go together.
So Mark Heltley here on the right side out of North Carolina on the 2000 Suzuki. Number 3 qualifier as they sit. All eyes right now, though, on the Teasley side. Will we see him throw the kitchen sink at to see what happens? So far, so good there.
Top this quarter mile, 760 career best ET for Mark Hilton. Wow. And that puts him number 7 on the GO list. And you know who we passed? Cameron Teasley.
Goes number 2 here on the qualifying board for this weekend's race. Teasley goes to 9th on the board with the 786-1. So not quite what the Teasley camp's looking for, but it's a good step in the right direction.
Remember, Jeremy hasn't run yet.
Yeah, just keep race.
And Joey Barnes, Animal Merced, a former champion in this category.
Set the world on fire just a couple years ago.
Oh, he did. He was in like he was
that Kawasaki.
Left and right.
I mean, he was a force to be reckoned with. Keep an eye on him this weekend. Tell us a little bit about Joey Barnes on the far side.
Out of Macon, Michigan, 08 Suzuki 1300, currently 9th and a 13th and a 900. And watch Joey Barnes. Watch
that thing was smoking right at the 330. 2 puffs of smoking out of it. How about an 887.6? 176 there for Barnes. Not a bad hit for that machine. Animal Merced, though, having issues again. You saw the 330. You saw the flame come out of the exhaust, smoke out of it. He got out of it, tried to get back in it, more smoke coming out of it, and the right decision of getting out of it early. So curious to see what's going to happen here as they are going to check the racetrack behind the Merced machine.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, try to get back in it, but maybe he hurt something. He got back in the second time, possibly. So Animal's going to stay 5. Joey Barnes, number 13.
So let me ask you this, Fabian.
Yes, sir.
Here with the TV Racing Real Street, I'm assuming, tell me if I'm wrong, these racers also have engine diapers on their vehicles.
They do. All the pros, from 460 to Pro Stream, Rotary, they are required to have engine diapers on the bike. And I tell you what, to give you an idea, actually I'm looking at the wrong goat list. Let me find it real quick.
Of course you would be looking at the wrong goat list. He's looking at mountain goats over here. That's not even the right animal. Trust me, you don't want to read
You just now figured out I'm not right in the head.
Oh, look, you're the one that finally sat on the bike. That's all I'm saying. So again, the red light's on right now as they are checking the racetrack behind the Merced machine there on the Napa side of the racetrack.
I found it.
Clear.
Who ran the first ever 7 Pro Street?
Ooh.
I'll give you a hint. He's here today and he did it 20 years ago.
20 years ago. You know what?
Yes.
I guarantee I'm going to be wrong, so just tell me.
Brock Davis?
Fair enough.
795 with a 0 on the Nitrous Bandit 20 years ago.
Sounds like we've been given the all clear. The red lights are being turned off, and we are getting ready to go here with the next pair.
So there's going to be Shane Stubbs and Joe Franco. Shane Stubbs out of Humboldt, Texas. Joe Franco from New Canaan, Connecticut.
Now notice this field so far in the 7-second zone. Franco looking to try to join that. Here on the right side of the racetrack, the 07 Suzuki. Shane Stubbs on the far side of the racetrack. You just heard the 08 Suzuki. Yes, both drivers start the burnout.
Oh, what's up there? How you? Jordan just asked about you. Jordan. Yeah, because he was going to ride up here. You already went out? You went out? Dang, man.
I believe the same way that Ralph did last year. It is the same like that Brock.
That was a wild ride that he took too. You remember that? Just
Get in the qualifying.
Did a nice little 360 backflip.
Oh yeah, that was a scary moment.
And of course, Ralph was sorry, didn't stick the landing. He stuck the landing when he was stuck to the racetrack. So that's nice.
827. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, it's a good time right here, man. I ain't think it was gonna be like this. Hey, when I pulled in, I was like, dang, I ain't got nowhere to park, man. Yeah.
Second before that.
All the way down there. Yeah, I couldn't even make it all the way down there. They just told me to go right over there and just park right there. So, yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, I couldn't get here till I ain't get here till like I think like 6:30. Yeah. I'll be here tomorrow though.
Oh wow.
Oh, earlier. Yeah, I seen somebody talking about it on Facebook, but I ain't seen no video. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get here early tomorrow. All right, I'll be here early tomorrow. All right, I see.
Here comes the guy that's racing.
On the right? All right, straight down on the right.
Windsor coming. Record plate coming.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'll be down there. I'll cut down there. All right, there, I see you.
You and I both know Spencer is one to keep an eye on here this weekend.
He's one bad hombre out of Rockford, Tennessee, former champion. And he wants his record back.
Yeah, Joel and Derek already ran. Said he ran too fast. That's why he couldn't qualify, man. That's crazy.
I think today.
Been 12 years since he ran, he said.
So as the lights are getting ready to come down. For Spencer Claycomb, how about 940 with a 0 there for a whole
Hey, that's a hell of a ride, bro.
It was a fucking
Right. That is a hell of a fucking ride.
The last pair of real streets go Jeremy Teasley and Super Dave Stewart. Now, both these guys are former champions in the category. Teasley actually the reigning champ. Super Dave Stewart on the right side, 757.4, career best for him. But
now Stewart's also currently sitting in the #1 spot here in qualifying with that 757.4. Teasley on the bottom of the board right now with an 834 with an 8. Now you and I both know that nitrous bike of Teasley, most likely high chance back in the 7-second zone here.
For sure, that AM performance machine for Jeremy Teasley. Super Dave Stewart out of Mooresville, North Carolina. There we go. Wild pair, 2 straight road straight. Bam! 755. He goes to the top. Takes #1 away from Super Dave Stewart. Now,
2/100ths of a second.
So now, Higgins, it's time for NCP Superstock, and you and I are getting kicked out of our office as we're, yes, I said our office.
You said our office. I'm quoting you on that.
Sam. So now we're turning the lights over to Jason Miller and Brock Davidson. Just a tick off his previous qualifying attempt of an 891. Marcus McQueen still in 24th position.
Really looking forward to this round. Jason, with the cool air and the crazy DA, these bikes, if they're going to go fast, it's going to be right now.
As long as you're ready for that extra power, recent graduate, Youngsville, North Carolina, right-hand lane off the 157, 60 foot, so close to that 8-second pass, goes 9:01, improved by over a tenth of his previous qualifying attempt.
Yeah, that was a nice pass for us.
Goes to number 10 position. You had your share of super sport back in the day. I remember riding that Gixxer 600 and
600, then went over to the 1000s, and you know, this was one of those classes. I can ride okay, I can race okay. You come up against somebody like Richard Gaston and David Bond up here in the left lane.
149 with a 5 on a pass, 869, first ever in the 860s in HTP Superstock. Unreal, representing Puerto Rico in the left lane.
569 in the 8 for all of you who know how hard it is to go quick on one of these stock wheelbase bikes.
To run that kind of speed, to have that kind of 60 foot, takes unreal control on a stock wheelbase bike. Unreal. Jimmy Leach off with a 164. Bike's going to be in the low 9 seconds zone. 9:09 for Soviets in the left lane. 9:30 for Jimmy Leach in the right lane. And here comes one of my favorite bikes in the category. Hasn't been in the 8 just yet, but that Ducati in the right lane, that V4, is just an awesome sounding machine.
They sound great, they make great power. Ryan's doing a fantastic job riding it. They're going to have to do some more work to try to figure out how to restrict that bike to work for drag racing. But you can see, even on passes that really aren't stellar in the front half of the track, they're throwing down 160 miles an hour. They're really, really fast. They get their handle on the clutch and some of the other things that are going on with the ECU. Those bikes are really challenging.
That's right. I mean, most of these bikes are typically the mid 160 to high 100 and this weekend's no different. Gets to a 911, get closer and closer to the 8-second pass, but like Brock was saying, that dry hand clutch and all that torque that they need for, I've spoken with Ryan before, and they're trying to unlock all the different potential in that ECU so they can have as much horsepower up top as they can, but also try to control the starting line. They just haven't got that figured out just yet. Brian Johnson, the right-hand lane, one of the big guys in the class, all the way from Paisley, South Carolina on the ZX14. He might be a 200-plus rider, but he gets 60 foot with the best of them. He went a 150 60 foot in Virginia. All right, Ryan. Off the 157 for a 200-pound big guy. He's doing work in the front half of the track. He's going to find that speed in the back half.
200-pound big guy.
He's a big guy. He knows it. But if you watched him ride the bike there, he was modulating the wheel heights with his throttle and his clutch. He's doing a great job. He's just real big. That's right. I mean, Brian used to race in the heavy hitter category, ran a pro sport bike, and it's cool to see him back here at the XDA, competing on the small bikes here in Superstock. Chris Moore in the right-hand lane from Greer, South Carolina. More Mafia representing on the ZX14. Papa Gonzalez, another rider from Puerto Rico in the left lane. 153, 60 foot time. Going to be an 8-second pass. 8:99 with a 0 for the win. Bracket racing, it looks like.
Pablo Gonzalez goes 8:92, doesn't improve on his previous qualifying attempt, but Pablo will still sit number 4. Jordan Hassey, right-hand lane on the Gixxer 1000. Warren Express Pro Street Racer trying his hand in Superstock. Jesus Moran in the left lane, another Gixxer. Off of the slower 60-foot time, having trouble. Jordan looks for a low 9-second pass, goes 9:32, 150, still getting used to these stock production bikes. A big difference between this bike and riding the Warren Express Pro Street bike. You got your clutch in, you got the clutch in your hand for a lot longer in this category, and tiptoeing down the racetrack. It's got to be a whole different ride compared to Pro Street.
Most definitely, and Ronnie Mitchell let me ride in one of his Pro Streets once, and I had a hell of a time because I'm used to having the clutch in my hand. I couldn't throw it quick enough. It's just it's a different way to do things, but obviously it works as Pro Street bikes are flying.
It's definitely a whole new technique between the Gen 2 clutches. You got Gen 1s, there's snowflake lockups, and then you have true hand clutch. And a true hand clutch, even on a longer wheelbase motorcycle, a lot of power, is still a whole lot different than a stock production bike, where you got to keep the RPM up, particularly with these 1000s. and where you don't log the bike and don't wheelie the bike. It's just a real finesse game out there.
Oh yeah, you're talking about 80 foot-pounds of torque. So if you make a mistake and you bog the bike, you just can't recover.
That's absolutely right. Steve Neekum, longtime drag racer here from Edgewater Park, New Jersey, in the left-hand lane on the ZX14. Right lane, Jordan McDougal. 60-foot times, looking for some low 9-second passes. 9:04 to the left, but look at Jordan, mile an hour, 157. Good for an 8:98, improves by almost 2/10 of a second.
Nice job, Jordan.
Jordan moves up to number 9 qualifying position. Steve Neekum sitting at number 12. Curtis McDougal here in the right lane, the only rider up until David Fondon just now at a 149 60-foot. Curtis is the only other rider right here in the right lane to go in the 1-4 60-foot zone.
I got to talk to Curtis, hadn't seen him for a long time. You know, I'm used to seeing him on much faster bikes. It doesn't matter what he gets on, he's a heck of a rider, and he's always fun to watch.
Off of the 150 foot, I'm going to tell you, look for a big number, goes 8:86 and cruise on his previous qualifying position by almost 0.02 of a second. We'll move Curtis McDougal. Actually, he'll stay at the number 5 qualifying position right behind Pablo Gonzalez. Puerto Rico in the house here in HTB Superstock with David Fondon and Pablo making your top 4. Caleb Holt in the right-hand lane. It's actually Curtis McDougal's son in the right-hand lane. Hops out of beat to 60. I'm happy with Kurt. Having trouble down track. Stewart drives around, goes 9:19 for the win. Brian Dale here, SDPA promoter in the right-hand lane. On the Kawasaki, left-hand lane, Johnny Briscoe on that white ZX14. In the left lane, local racer from Clinton, Maryland, just about 20 minutes down the street. Having fun here in the Superstock category. Brian off the 157. Briscoe in the left lane. Briscoe gets there first, 9:38. Possible misshift for Brian Dale down track. Your job's not over when you get to the 60 foot. You got that clutch hand in your left hand, and you have the throttle in your right. You're trying to get to the 1-2 gear change, but there's still several other gears you got to make before you get to that stripe. And I'll tell you, they're not all easy without an air shifter.
No, they're not. You know, and the technique that you use to shift these bikes without the shifter, you know, there's so much going on here.
One of my favorite things to watch back in the days, different techniques like you were talking about with riders trying to shift the bikes. There were guys out there flipping the throttle. There were guys out there slapping the clutch hand down track. Lots of different ways to shift the bikes and out there. And right now, it's kind of hard from our vantage point to see the different methods guys are using when they get their feet up and how they're using to shift the bikes down track.
I was hanging out with Jeremy Teasley earlier. His last pass, he burned the clutch up, so I was walking by and they recruited me to see if he could get down through there this time.
Jeremy Teasley in the right lane. J-Rock Gibbons, number 1 qualifier, 2 times in a row this year in the left lane with 155. J-Rock gets there first, 8:95. Teasley having issues down track.
And you can see, and I'm sure you're the same way. I hate these clutches. They're so grabby, and Jeremy fought it, and he just finally said, you know what?
Once you get that first couple of passes down, and then you have that confidence and the faith, and once you kind of scuffed it in and you know what to expect, and your confidence goes way up, and sometimes it's just a different game, like you said, when you throw that clutch on. Anthony Alanio in the left-hand lane, all the way from Cape May, New Jersey, on the Kawasaki bright green bike, off of the 174 60-foot time. Probably going to be a mid-9-second pass here, goes to a quarter mile, goes 9:88, 150. Still a lot to learn, but that's what we're here for, that's what we race.
You know, that's one of the best things about this class. You can come out, and you may not do so well at first, but you learn, and the guys help you. You know, if a racer has a question, we want all to go fast. And anybody who has any questions or anything,